Sophia A. Jackson, and I'm the editor and founder of Aphrodisiac Theatre News. And today I'm joined by
Nicola Hughes.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We're excited to talk to you and hear more about intimate apparel. Intimate apparel. In your own words, could you tell us about intimate apparel, which opens at the Donmar next month?
It's a beautiful story of a woman, Esther, who is a seamstress who sews intimate apparel for a whole array of women. And in that time, having a man, a husband was part of the bargain. You had to, in order to have agency, that was the only kind of way that you could have a bit of freedom. And Esther is a 35-year-old seamstress, single, lives in Mrs. Dickson, who I play, Mrs. Dickson's rooming house, and Mrs. Dickson takes it upon herself to sort of be like a modern day dating agent, really, for finding suitable men for the ladies that live in her house. And it follows the journey of Esther, whether she finds love or not. But she does find love with a man who writes to her, and it's a series of beautiful letters and how this romance begins, So it's not dissimilar really to dating today, really, like how we fill in the gaps of what we want somebody to be.
Yeah, it sounds lovely, and I like the idea that of writing letters, which is clearly not something we do now in this age of WhatsApp and texting and social media. It feels like quite an old-fashioned thing to do and quite refreshing. What did you find about that?
Well, I'm from an era of writing letters. I used to write letters when I was young, and so it's like there's so many beautiful things that you can say in a letter that you perhaps wouldn't do in a text. It's very shorthand, isn't it, text?
Yeah.
And how you only have, it's not just that you have the letter, but you have the writing as well. It's there's so many more things that your imagination latches onto with a letter that I feel that text or WhatsApp, you don't. I still love getting letters.
Yeah.
And I get letters still from, older members of my family or older friends. It feels more intimate, much more intimate.
Yeah, I quite like the idea that maybe the play will inspire people to start writing letters again to their loved ones.
It's like, because there's something really wonderful about not just writing it and doing it in your best handwriting, but you know what I mean? But then there's the envelope, sealing it, posting it, taking it to the post box, and then receiving a letter. It's quite exciting. I have a letter in the post for me that comes through your letter. It's quite a special interaction of communication. It's a shame that it's kind of a losing thing now.
Yeah, it is a shame. I definitely remember receiving letters when I was much younger, but I also still have those. I still have those letters though, because you just can't throw away something that someone's taken the time to handwrite to you.
That's right. Yeah, and and sometimes how they smell. People put scents in them, or it's just knowing that they've been near somebody else's body. And also, like, if you think about elder members of your family that have written something, it might be the last intimate thing that you have of them that you keep.
Real keepsake, something really nice.
Very much. Yeah.
So how does your role fit in Mrs. Dickson? Can you tell us a bit more about your
Mrs. Dickson? Like I said, she has inherited, because of her husband died, she's inherited this boarding house in Lower Manhattan, and as a black widow, has done quite well for herself, by filling the house with young ladies. And she has a horse. She's quite affluent. She's somebody who's going places, but she doesn't have a husband, but she has had a husband. And she feels it's her duty to give these women who are coming to her boarding house, probably all over America, because, of course, at the time, New York was a place where you could make it. And, if you worked hard and had a trade or married up, you could get places. And marrying up's the only thing that she knows. So she wants to make sure that these women get suited and with a suitable man so that they can then have a good life. and that's how she's kind of like the mother hen, but she wants to be seen as somebody who is somebody. Do you know what I mean? In society as well.
Yeah. Are you enjoying playing the character? And are there any challenges that you faced in bringing the character to life?
I think it's more about the physicality, because we're wearing corsets. It's 1905, so firstly, when we blocked it, I think just over a week ago, we blocked it, and we were in our trainers and tracksuits, and then you start to put the corsets on. It's like, oh,
sorry, did you say you blocked it?
Yeah, you blocked it. So you basically mean? Blocking is so once you've done your book work, you start to then put the piece on its feet and map out where you might move in the space. Okay. It doesn't mean that that's going to be it. It's just kind of to give you an idea of what options are available to you, where you feel you might go, what you feel you might pick up, etc. Okay. So that we blocked it in its basic form.
Okay.
And this week, it's more about going over that blocking and then adding layering now that we know the text a little bit more, know the characters much more. But also I thought, I'll put the corset on. We've got rehearsal corsets. I'll put it on because we have an amazing movement director, Shelley, we've been doing lots of work with movement, but we haven't actually put those corsets on. Until yesterday I did it, and instantly that's pulling up, and it's also the gracefulness of women with those sort of dresses. It makes you move just differently. Yeah. And then you feel like, so yesterday I kind of felt like I was having an out-of-body experience. I was doing the scene, but then I had this sort of, restricted sort of movement. Yeah. So joining those two things together, it's not really natural for me, even though I trained many years ago as a ballerina, but it's a very different, to be speaking like with that sort of poise is not my thing. So I'm going to have to make that work. And it's exciting to do that, to become somebody else. It's part of the process.
Yeah, I was thinking that perhaps that helps you to get into character because it's so far removed from what you would normally wear on a day-to-day basis.
It does, definitely. But at the same time, when you want to bend down and get something, you ain't bending down to get something. You've got to sort of like, almost curtsy to pick something up. It really, so just for that moment, it made me think, oh my God, yeah, I've really got to rethink this. Yeah, so that's one of the biggest challenges I've had at the moment, where we're at the moment in the process. We've got 3 more weeks to go. Yes.
Well, I'm also relieved that we aren't expected to wear those anymore.
No, I mean, can you imagine? It's just nice to sort of let it all out at the end of an evening.
Yeah, it sounds so restrictive.
Yeah, it is. But there's something really nice about it.
Yeah.
For some people, it holds more than just the body together. It can be a holding of emotions. Or for me, I felt very centered and rooted in my sexuality as a woman. I felt like it was all in for me. It brings out something different in every person. So I'm going to go with all of that.
And overall, how are rehearsals going? You've worked with Lynette Linton before?
I haven't. I know Lynette. I've kind of come across her, and she's an amazing director. Yeah. But I'm really happy to be working with a Black female director. It's my 3rd time working with Black female director. I feel very, very blessed. There aren't enough, but I feel that I've been lucky enough to work with some wonderful ones. Nancy Medina being another, and she's really, really quite a wonderful woman, but also a wonderful sharer of the space, and makes a really safe environment so that you can do the work. There's no right or wrong. Let's play. She starts rehearsals with dancing. So everybody has 3 tracks. You choose your 3 tracks and we just dance, just let it out.
Oh, wow. That sounds fun.
It's really kind of like, but she's really flipping intelligent and she knows her stuff and she knows what she wants. And she guides you beautifully. To have such confidence, I'm 50. I just turned 50. To have such confidence at her age, I'm like,
wow.
Like she knows exactly what she's doing. And I love the way that she has an open rehearsal space. So
what does that mean?
Every day there are people that are invited to come and watch the rehearsal process. She really believes that that process should be open for people to see. Okay. If you close it off, how do people learn? Now, that for me, I mean, I've never really had that where, you know, normally in rehearsals at the very early stages, it's a closed rehearsal space. And then as you feel confident, you open it up. But no, she's like, no, it's open. We have to show the next generation. And also better actors, the process of how we get this piece. You know, it shouldn't be a secret. And actually what it does, it makes you just kind of like go, okay, all right, there are people watching, but they're not watching a performance. They're watching the process. And once you get your head around that, it's actually, people should do it more often. It should be a thing it shouldn't be a closed off thing for anyone. It should be open for people to see, not just a finished, polished product.
And what about Lynn Nottage? Is she coming over? Have you had much interaction with her?
I think she is coming over, actually. I'm not sure whether it's maybe in tech previews she's coming over, but obviously her and Lynette have a relationship from other work they've done.
Yeah.
It's really lovely. There is a shorthand going on there. It's lovely.
I just wondered how it is work, because often playwrights aren't with us anymore, but when they're alive, it's like, do they interact with the cast? Do they send notes? Do they send it's just quite interesting to me.
I'd be interested to see what the process is. I mean, obviously, if there are questions, I know that Lynette has conversations with her, but it'd be really interesting to see what it's like when she comes. And this place, it's so beautiful. We were doing scenes, I think we were doing the last scene yesterday, last scene of blocking. That's what I'm saying. We've just finished blocking. And you can't breathe, you can't swallow. It's so beautiful.
Oh wow.
And so you have so much hope for Esther, for her story and for her journey. But there are so many obstacles and everybody wants something from her. And it's just on that very last scene, just like, I mean, Jesus, this show is gonna, it's a lot, but it's beautiful.
I'm really hoping that she does find love.
I'm hoping she does too.
We'll say no more.
Exactly. Are you familiar with Lynn Nottage's work? I'm not. I'm quite a novice to her writing, but my goodness,
Did she not do Sweat and Clyde?
I've
seen. I didn't see Sweat, but I saw Clyde's, which was exquisite. I absolutely loved that. Yeah,
I'd love to have seen that. Yeah.
Where are we now? Yes, could you share something fun that's happened in rehearsals?
I think the best thing is the dancing, I have to say. because what you get is like 3 tracks from each cast member and crew, where anybody is in the room really, and it's a real insight into their personality.
Okay.
And Samira Wiley chose 3 bangers the other day, and the last one was like a wild card, and everybody was like, we didn't know we needed it. I shouldn't even tell you what it was because it's a secret, but I think it was for us. It was for us, but it was great. So I've got to really rethink what my next 3 tracks are going to be.
So what are some of the songs that you've chosen?
What did I choose for mine? I think I chose, was it Luther Vandross? I can't remember now. It was pretty good. It was good. It was good. Like,
I'm going to take your word for it. You've had a fantastic career to date. How do you keep your acting skills fresh and the passion alive?
Oh, that's a really great question. I try and do things that I'm only really interested in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I try and stay away from things that are just, there. I have the rule of 3, which is, it's either got to be a really great director, I'm going to learn something, great script, or the money's got to be really good. As long as 2 as long as 2 of the 3 hitting the mark, then it's okay. I think it's that, and not being afraid to walk away from things that aren't really going to serve me.
Wow.
You don't always know that, but so oftentimes your gut tells you this isn't going to work, and it's a difficult thing to manage when you've got to pay your bills.
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
It is, but 32, 33 years in, so I do get regular work, and I think the work keeps coming because I try and do great work. I mean, if I chose a show for a year that paid a lot of money but nobody was coming to see because it wasn't very good, And sometimes I'm in things that aren't very good, but it's new and it's exciting and we're giving it a go. I like to do new things a lot.
Yeah.
Challenge myself. So I think
do you think that's what's important then, doing new things? And
I try and do new work.
Yeah.
Because nobody knows whether it's going to work. That is exciting. There's a danger to that. But at the same time, you know, the classics where you know it's just so fantastic. You'd like this. I've loved this play, and wanted to be in it in some form. And so it's like, well, why wouldn't I do this? You know, and then you've got an alive writer. You've got an amazing director. Well, brilliant cast.
Yeah,
you know, the piece is off the charts. So yes, and yes.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned how Lynette's style of direction is also something that you've learned from as well. So I think
it's not that necessarily that I've learned from it, because this is the thing when you work with, if I do 2 or 3 shows a year, you know, I learn a lot from everyone. It's just that the style that she has allows for more play, allows for more, you feel more that there's no wrong or right answer, but either way she's going to steer you right. Does that make sense? And there's also something about working with a black woman. There is a shorthand for things that we just don't have to explain. And there is an ease of it's being understood before we even start the play. There is an understanding and a respect for even being in the space. I think from even being here, it's like, I see you, I'm seen. So that in itself it just makes the job a lot easier. I'm not going to be, you know, great, but I'm saying it just makes the process a lot easier.
Thank you. We are into the quick fire now, so don't think too much about the answers. Just the first thing that comes to your mind. The person that you would love to see at press night for Intimate Apparel, dead, alive, or fictional?
Maya Angelou.
She's a popular one.
I think, so it wasn't very.
It's quick fire. So,
or Viola Davis. I mean, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Having played Esther herself, that would be pretty amazing. Okay, we'll go for Viola.
Yeah. Your favourite theatre space that you've ever worked in, which feels like home?
They all feel like home for a while. I think the Young Vic.
Okay. All right, thank you. First time going to the theatre, and who took you?
Oh gosh, I went to the theatre, I think when I was about 11 or 12 with my school. My drama teacher, Mr. Ashton, took us to see The Shotgun at the National Theatre.
Okay.
And it must have been in the Olivier because it was in the round. And I remember the Revolve. And I remember the set coming up and down and just being completely blown away. I did not know that you could do that in theatre. And I remember thinking, this is incredible. I've never worked at the National Theatre. This is my thing. Putting it out there. You have to put it out there. I've never worked at the National. Just sometimes it's like that. But I haven't worked at the National. And I would like to work there just to kind of like...
Full circle.
Totally. It has to be done. That was the thing. That was the thing that got me going. And I'm always very thankful to him. And I've tried many, many times to get in contact with him to say thank you, because he was a really inspirational teacher.
Yeah.
Who also saw me.
He also what?
Saw me.
Oh.
The young black kid. I think was the only in my school, and he saw me, and he knew I was good at this. But yeah, he was responsible for that.
Well, let's put it out to the universe that you perform at the National and that you can get in touch with your teacher.
Exactly. That would be
amazing. What was the last play that you saw at the theatre?
At the theatre? Oh, it's quite a while ago.
Nicola.
I've been to Donmar for a while. It's really bad.
Oh, no, not at this theatre. Like, what was the last play you saw generally?
Oh, I just saw Retrograde 2 days ago.
Excellent. Did you love it?
Was fantastic. I took my twin boys to see it as well. And they were just on the edge of their seat. I thought it was so alive and present and slick and oiled, and it was a privilege to watch three people on the stage giving it some welly. I mean, I literally was like, they lost themselves in those characters, as you should, but it doesn't always happen. And Ivana was tremendous. So
it's incredible. And finally, why should we come and see Intimate Apparel?
To see a really beautiful piece of writing acted by some tremendous people, quite frankly. Samira Wiley she's an absolute pleasure to watch her artistry. But also about the story of a Black woman and her fight to have some agency and love. And it's so funny, isn't it, how it's titled Intimate Apparel, but it is a very intimate piece. I always see it as like a two-hander. Esther's only really on the stage with one other person at any one time. There are 6 in the cast. It's actually a two-hander. And so you feel like you're a fly on the wall on some very intimate scenes of sometimes imagination, sometimes of love, sometimes of hurt. Whatever's going on for Esther, you're right there with her. I think it's a privilege to be able to watch something like this.
Amazing. I'm very excited to see the show. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks.
And enjoy the rest of your day. And hopefully I'll see you first night.
That would be really nice. That would be lovely to say hello to you. Yes.
Likewise. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you for being patient. Thank you.
No worries. Thanks. Bye.